Firstly, thank you, Dato Sri, for accepting our invitation.
No, firstly, we should be on the first name basis. That title that we use, it is only supposed to be for state affairs and when we deal with the Sultan or the one that awarded. Other than that, it should be our first name.
Okay, Farid. Okay, Farid, thanks for accepting our invitation to be a guest on our podcast.
Thank you.
I've read some of your interviews in the media,
Uh-oh.
and today I thought we'll do it a bit differently. We want to dive a little bit more on your leadership style and unique perspectives. So I'm going to start with the last question. I've decided to start with the last question. So it's T-15 for you today.
Yeah.
And if I can ask, how many job offers or board offers have you received since the announcement of your decision? And what's a challenge you can't refuse?
You're right. There have been a few offers coming in, rather people calling in and say, hey, can you do this for us? And I'm very clear with most of them, and I said, I don't want to start talking until after I leave the bank. So it's partly because I think it's only right if I were to start doing only after I've left, rather than while I'm still sitting on this chair again. So most of them will say, okay, let's start talking after end of April. I want to explore something else, actually. I know that typical of a lot of people, once they have been doing similar job, they want to move into something quote unquote bigger. Hopefully doing something quote unquote meaningful, meaning that doing more of what the person has been doing for the past 10, 15, 30 years or whatever. And for me, I want to explore something else. And I don't know what that something else is in the first place.
You're going to take a short break to get some inspiration.
I want to take a short break.
Yeah.
I want to get a bit of a quiet time, because you and I know our working life is very noisy. Your emails,
it's intense.
WhatsApp,
Yeah.
It comes at you 24/7. These are, well, it look harmless, but these are noise because it's in your head all the time. So I want to get a bit of quiet time. Then figure things out.
Thanks for it. Thanks. I just want to ask you a question which I saw in a recent interview in the Star. You said every day you feel like you need to prove yourself.
Oh.
And this probably comes as a surprise to many, including me, given your impressive track record and achievements. Can we understand a little bit more why you said that?
The reason I said it because I think it started with the creation of GWB. Or maybe it started with me coming back to Maybank, right? Dato Sri Wahid at that point in time contacted me and asked me to come on board and help him out. And then he said, oh, because we came from the same school, your bar is higher, right? So that's a typical Dato Sri Wahid. And I use the same standard as well. If I known you before, then your bar is higher, not lower. So okay, bar is higher. Then I got in. Then we went through that transformation program in 2009, and we were setting up the new house of Maybank. So the question is that, okay, who's going to lead GWB? So there were candidates at that point in time. In my mind, okay, this maybe I'm a bit boastful. In my mind, I think I was the best candidate because I came from the environment. I know how it's done, right? In fact, a lot of the composition of GWB, the ideas about how things should be done came from me because I've seen it before, right? But I was running international, so that I was not really a candidate at that point in time. I was fine with it. And then for some reason, the candidates that were there at the forefront didn't happen. Then Wahid came and said, I need you to take this job. So I said, oh, okay. Actually, I told Wahid at that point in time, I said, I was surprised it took you a long time to figure this out, that I was the best guy for the job. I was quite boastful, but in reality, at that point in time, when I look at it, I said, I know how this is all done because I've been in the environment before in my previous firm. So that's one. But I think the most, relevant situation for me was this job, the CEO of Maybank, because I was not the obvious candidate. I knew that I was one of the internal candidates, but I was not obvious to everyone, even internally, you know. But when the process happened through the interviews, through the essays that we had to write and all that kind of stuff, I made a very clear decision from the very beginning. I will not talk to anyone to get to lobby for the job. I said to myself that if I were to get it, I would get it on my own accord, right? So surprisingly, I got it, right? And but from the first day, I thought that I'm not quite sure how I landed with how the job was landed on me, rather than on the other candidates, both internal and external.
Do you remember what you wrote in your essay?
It's basically the essay was very specific. What would you do if you were to be appointed CEO, right, of Maybank? What would you do? I don't quite remember today what I wrote, but basically things on strategy, things on structure, how we should approach the market. Pretty much what I've been doing, in a way, right? But yeah.
Excellent. 9 years later.
9 years later.
Yeah.
9 years later.
So
but I was a dark horse. I was a long shot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that, and also at a recent town hall, that you would consider sitting on boards, which, of public listed companies if they are professionally run. Yeah. How do you see yourself evolving from a chief executive to a board member?
Oh, very easy. I can switch off the CEO mindset and switch off into someone to help the CEO mindset pretty quickly. I know the times and the place where we have to stop pretending to be the executive officer, because at the board, with the joint and several responsibility, the function of the board is to help the CEO to perform at the optimal level, and to help the CXOs to perform at an optimal level. And that doesn't mean that the board has to be micromanaging. That's the job of the management. We need to take a look at skills, we need to take a look at culture, we need to take a look at the overall strategy, none of this micro stuff.
Sure. The ability to take a 30,000 feet perspective and at the same time zoom in on specific issues, which I think you'll be well positioned to do that.
Like a football manager.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah, absolutely.